Welcome, my friends. My name is Daniel. I'm sitting outside tonight in Central Florida on a rather cold night for Florida. 47 degrees right now for my dearest daughter Sarah. That's 8 degrees Celsius. Very cold for Florida. Tonight it's going to get down to 39 degrees or 3.5 degrees Celsius. I plan to be out here all night. I've actually set up my tent because I hadn't done camping in so long that my spirit was getting very cluttered. Worrying about money, worrying about business, worrying about all the things I don't need to worry about. As Jesus said, today has enough worries of its own. Let tomorrow take care of itself. Wise words. So I decided to leave all that behind and come out tonight and reconnect with my spirit. I've got my tent set up. It's about 8 o'clock at night. Temperature's dropping, but it's still quite beautiful. The stars are really crisp because of the cold air, I suppose. I can see Jupiter and Mars. Earlier I saw Venus setting. Chasing the sun, Venus was, as she is liking to do. Tonight, I'm going to do a video meditation, guided meditation. In a month, I'm going to be in Australia, visiting my daughter, Sarah, meeting for the first time my son-in-law, Corey, and my granddaughter, Violet. Oh boy. I'm Papa Dan. So I've told this story to several people lately. I'll tell it to everyone now. Sarah is not my daughter by blood. She's Australian. I'm not. I'm American. But my son Riley went to visit Australia about 14, 15 years ago. Had a fun. I missed him dearly, but he was having such a good time. And at one point, he was about a month until he came back, and he said he was getting homesick. And I didn't say anything to him, but I thought, yes, soon my son will be back. And then the next week we talked, he said he'd met a woman, and he had fallen in love, and he wanted to stay in Australia. That woman was Sarah. Well, they came to visit me about a year later, then I went to visit them about a year later. Sarah was so gracious, such a giving person. Um, she was, let's see here, Riley was 26, so she would have been 24. But, 24. She's going to get mad at when I say this, but she had some growing up to do, as I did too at, I believe, at the time, 48. I had a lot of growing up to do, as it turned out, more than I anticipated. Because you see, less than a year after I left, Riley passed away. In a moment of despair and confusion, he took his own life. It was hard. It's hard to lose a child, but I think God prepared me for it by him being in Australia. Australia for so long. I was talking to him once or twice a week on Skype, but I wasn't seeing him every day the way Sarah was. Sarah saw him, he went to work, and he didn't come back. She and I bonded over the shared grief, the shared trauma, the hardest thing either of us had ever been through. It grew us both up. It grew her into a loving, giving, accepting person. Yes, we still miss Riley deeply, but we both accept that somehow it was meant to be. So that was 11 years ago. Sarah and I have been corresponding, chatting and videoing and whatnot on it. Well, not on and off for 11 years, pretty steadily for 11 years. And at one point I started telling her that, well, I had quit calling her my daughter-in-law, my ex-daughter-in-law, and I started calling her my daughter to people. She liked it. She said, well, I was her American dad. She became my Australian daughter, and I became her American dad. Then she met she was still dating. After a period of time, she started dating again, and she met different partners. None of them worked out until Corey. She said she felt like Riley brought Corey to her because he was just the right man for her. He really helped her in so many ways. Well, less than a year ago, they had a little baby girl named Violet. And, Violet came into the world, and Sarah, God bless her, ended up with a bit of postpartum depression and anxiety, which many mothers have. There's no shame in that. It's just it's a response to the hormone fluctuations that occur right after birth. It's really there's too much shame attached to things that happen with our brains. Yeah, we're largely a manifestation of our brains. We are our brains. That doesn't mean the brain can't get ill, like any other part of the body. How many people today are ashamed to walk around and say, I have high blood pressure? Ooh, that's terrible. You're a bad person. The brain's part of the body, and it can have illness too. I have an illness in my brain. I have a very dry sense of humor. Many people in my family think that's an illness. No, I have schizoaffective disorder, which is a form of schizophrenia with, in my case, major depression. See, I became suicidal at the age of 13. So I so much blamed myself when Riley died. But I came to grips with the fact that no, even if there's a predisposition toward illness, when it comes to mental illness, we need to take care of each other. And I think too much of Riley's life was spent being mentally and psychologically abused. I pray to God I didn't contribute to that. I know I was not a perfect dad, but I loved him so much, and I really wanted to give everything to him. Even today, if I could, I would willingly trade places with my son. I would give up my life just so he could have a few more years here on earth. But that's not in my power. What do you say we go meet the entity that has that power? That's what I'd like to do tonight. Sarah, if you're listening to this, we're going to do a meditation similar to what we did that night when we went up and met the higher power. you to surrender Violet to this higher power, to acknowledge that even though we love our children dearer than our own lives, we can't control the world. We can't control life. We can't control everything. I think that was the root of the abuse that Riley went through. It's the root of most abusers. They seek control. They seek that thing they cannot have. And so when they want to control the people around them, they will do it at almost any cost. Hold on a minute, I'm going to raise my teapot. Just stepped on my phone's tripod. Said I'm running out of battery, but I got a battery pack tied to it. Let's see what I can do. Battery's got lots of juice. Silly battery pack, stay turned on. Juice up the phone. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this. Huh. Well, looks like my tripod is kaput. I stepped on one of the legs. Give me just a second. We will. Over to a unipod. I'll hold it. Maybe I can keep the charge going. Okay, I'm back. I'll either have to stitch these together or more likely I'm just gonna, I'll stitch them together. There's so much easier way they can just stay on the phone. But the only video editor that I use typically is the one on my PC. No problem. I'll be able to cut out that embarrassing part of me stepping on my own tripod and breaking it. The whole problem started because I'm boiling some water. I want to have a little bit of tea, or I think instead I'll have some broth. Nice and warm as it gets colder. Anyway, let's go meet the higher power. Place your feet flat on the floor in front of you, or in my case, flat on the ground. Take a posture of relaxed alertness. Sounds hard, but it's really not. Relax your shoulders, straighten your spine, lengthen your neck. Imagine an invisible string attached to the crown of your head, gently pulling you up. Gently. No strain. Just an erect, alert posture. Rest your hands comfortably in your lap. Close your eyes if you'd like. Taking a deep breath through the nose, holding it at the top. And now slowly out through your mouth. Pausing at the bottom. Again, through the nose, fully breathing in, holding your breath at the top. Out through the mouth, slowly, pausing at the bottom. As you breathe out, let your shoulders drop. Let your body relax. Draw one more breath in through the nose, holding your breath at the top. When you get to the top and hold your breath, feel your body for any tension spots. And as you sense them, breathe out slowly through the mouth, releasing the tension with your breath. The tension flows out as your breath flows out. At the bottom, begin to breathe normally in a relaxed fashion. Now, sense your feet. Direct the awareness of your mind into your feet, into the soles of your feet. Feel what they are resting on. Feel the socks around you if you're wearing socks and shoes as I am. Feel whatever your feet are touching on the bottom. Feel your toes. Sense what your toes are touching. Release tension out of your shoulders. Direct your senses to the ankles. Release the tension in the ankles. Release all tension in the feet and the ankles. Moving up, release the tension of your calves. Become aware of your thighs, the tops and the bottoms of the thighs. Become aware of what you're sitting on. You can feel that underneath you. Relax your body till it feels like you're sinking into your seat. Relax your thighs. Feel your butt. Feel your hips. Relax them. Feel your back. Feel the clothes on it. Feel what's pressing against your back. Relax it. Feel your stomach and chest. Feel the clothes. Relax your chest. Relax your stomach. Breathe deeply. There goes Bobo, my dog. Don't worry about him. He's okay. Breathe deeply as you relax your chest. Remember, each breath out is an opportunity to exhale the tension in your body. The tension in your body is coming from your mind. Therefore, your mind can release it. It can release it from your body because it put it there in the first place. Feel your hands. Sense your hands. Sense the fingers of your hands. Sense what they're touching. Sense any tension in them. And as you breathe out, release the tension from your hands. Move up, release the tension from your forearms, your wrists, your forearms. Cinch your elbows, breathe out. Release the tension from your elbows, your hands, your arms, all the way up to your shoulders. Breathe out, release the tension from your shoulders. Drop them, let them drop toward the ground, away from your ears. Feel your neck, the tops of your shoulders, your neck. Release any tension there. Now we're going to go across the face, the front of the face, the back of the skull. Start with the front of the face, the jaw. If you talk for a living, it's tense, isn't it? Release it with the breath. Feel your cheeks being tense. If you smile for a living, they're tense. Release the tension in your face, your cheeks. Release the tension in your brow. If you worry for a living, it's tense there. Release the tension as you breathe out. Feel the back of your skull. Release the tension. Release the tension. Anything on the top of your skull, release the tension. Your forehead. Anywhere left in your body that's tense, release it with the breath out. Now we're ready. With your eyes closed, open your mind's eye. What I just did, it's a little bit of a trick, but I briefly open my physical eyes. I see the fire in front of me, and then I close my physical eyes and I open my mind's eye so that I can still see the fire in front of me. I still see it flickering. I can hear it, so I know it's there. I know where it is. I know it's still burning. I know what a burning fire looks like. I can clearly see it. Look at the surroundings of where you're at with your eyes closed. In other words, use your memory. You know where you sat down. You know what was around you. See it with your mind only. I'm looking around with my mind. I'm seeing what I saw when I sat down. But I don't need to look at it with my physical eyes anymore. I can look just with my mind. And now, step out of your body and look back where you're sitting. See yourself sitting there, surrounded by the surroundings. You saw everything except yourself. You were looking through your eyes with your mind. Therefore, there is no reason you can't step out of your body and look back as though you were a third person, a different person that just walked in and saw yourself sitting there with your eyes closed, surrounded by what you know is there. In a way, we're imagining this, but in a deeper sense, we're actually looking with our minds. And I can show you that. Very carefully, keeping your physical eyes closed. Take your physical hand that you're sitting, where you're sitting. Do not go back into your body. Watch your body. Take your physical hand and touch your cheek and see with your mind's eye the person you are sitting there touching their cheek and putting it back down. Now, you knew you were doing that, but you actually saw yourself do it. Now, without re-entering your body, I want you to look up. As I said earlier, it's night where I am, so when I look up, since I'm outside, I can see the stars with my mind's eye. If you're inside, you see the ceiling with your mind's eye. Let it dissolve and disappear. There's no reason that ceiling has to stay there in your mind. Now you can see the sky. If it's daylight, you see the blue because it's overwhelming from the star we call our sun. We're going to see the darkness of space soon. While you're looking up, only with your mind this time, reach your hands up, stretching your hands, your mental hands, your spirit hands. Stretch them toward the sky and feel yourself rising. Your hands are grasping and your hands are pulling you. While they have nothing to touch, they're pulling you. You are rising above where your body is. Your body is safe. It will still be there when we come back. Rise, rise, faster, rise. If it was daylight, you're passing the sun, you're heading toward the stars. Rise, rise. If it was night, you already clearly see the stars. Rise, faster, rise, faster. You're leaving the sun and the earth behind. Faster, faster. The stars are coming toward us faster and faster. The stars are streaming past us. We are still rising. We're going past the stars. We're going to where there are no stars. There's no earth. There's no sun. We have gone beyond everything. Now look down around yourself and see nothing. In your mind's eye, see nothing. It is a darkness, not evil, just an absence. There's nothing there except you. You are there. And now, your physical eyes are closed. You're sitting where you were originally, but your spirit is beyond the beyond. It is in the nothingness. It is in the void. With your mind's eye, look down at your spirit body and see the light in your chest. There is a light inside of you. You can't see it when you're on the earth because it's too bright around you. You can't see it when you sleep because you're dreaming. You can't see it even when you close your eyes on the earth because our minds are too preoccupied with the physical. But in the void, there's nothing but your spirit and the light that your spirit carries. Look at the light inside you. I am in front of you. You sense my light. Look up and see now in the void there is a second light. You see me. I am in front of you. You see my spirit with the light inside. When I see these things, I see people with a light inside. I see an ephemeral body. Perhaps you see something else. It doesn't really matter what you see. What you see is real. It is not a figment of the mind. It is the mind reaching for something beyond the physical. And it can reach there beyond the physical because the mind is more than just physical. Now look carefully into that void. Remember how dark it was? But if you relax and look carefully, you see there are lights all around us. Some dim, some bright. There are millions of them. These are all the spirits of people around us. These are the lights of the people. Because we are always here. We traveled from our body to here, but we ended up right where we always have been. We are here, always. We just have to open our mind's eye and look around. Now I'm going to tell you something that not everyone is going to believe, but I have found it to be true. If you're willing to believe, if you're willing even to question your disbelief, there is something here. Look at the background of the lights you see now. It is a void, it is a darkness. It is vast. It is deep. I can't see the edges of it. But I sense something. I sense that it is a pond, a well. It is a spirit. It has its own consciousness, its own being. It is a living thing, just as we are. If I am a light, my light comes from that well. It's like a drop of water coming from a pond. The drop of water is intense. It's concentrated. The pond is the same stuff. It's the water that the drop comes from, but the drop can't see the edges of the water. It doesn't know the pond. It can see the drops around it, but the pond is just, it's everywhere. The pond is God. It is the highest power. It is a power that creates everything from nothing. Okay. We're going to go back to our bodies now. Remember I told you that you're always here and that your body would still be where it was. So all you really have to do is allow your mind's eye to slowly let this scene dissolve. The lights around you, the void, the pond of spirit, the highest power, God, it all begins to fade. And in its place, I can see my physical surroundings with my mind's eye. I don't open my eyes yet. My physical eyes remain closed. But I can see myself. I can see from inside myself. I can see all the physical things around me with my mind's eye. And now, when I'm ready, I gently open my physical eyes. And I see that I'm exactly where I was when I began the journey. The fire is still there. I became unaware of it, although when I think about it, I remember always hearing it no matter what, but
the surroundings I see, I became unaware of them. They were still in me. I was still sensing them, but I was sensing something else, something very profound. As I started this video, I told you that I needed to get back in touch with my spirit. Well, that's how I do it. Thank you for listening. Again, my name is Daniel. May the Creator bless you in this life, give you a good life, and bless you in whatever follows.